Hello guys, in this video I want to review a topic that you will need for this week's material, and that is how to find a part of a whole. It could be a fraction of a whole, it could be a percentage of a whole. Let's get to it. So our first example is, what is 1/3 of 24? And this is the basic form that you want to translate your word problem into, because this form, this sentence, it translates directly into math with no hustle. Um, so what is our unknown? That's what we're looking for. So that's going to be x. Is always translates into equal sign. Okay. Then we have 1/3 of translates into multiplication, and then 24. And here you go. You have your equation. All you need to do now is to multiply 1/3 and 24 in order to figure out your x. So let's do that. You can do it mentally, or you can use your calculator. So 1/3 times 24 is 8. But let's actually review how to do that without the calculator, using our knowledge how to multiply fractions. Well, first of all, you need to convert 24 into fraction, and you do that by adding a denominator of 1. You can turn any whole number into a fraction by adding 1 on the bottom. Then the multiplication of fraction tells us that you need to multiply numerators and multiply the denominators. So you're going to have 1 times 24 over 3 times 1. So that's 24 over 3. And then we are gonna basically extract a common factor from both the numerator and the denominator and cancel them out. By the way, they don't disappear, they turn into ones. It's not zeros. Okay, just a quick reminder. So you have 8 over 1 left, or basically 8. So that's how you translate this phrase into an equation and then work it out. So basically your goal whenever you're dealing with a word problem is boil the question down to this type of a question. What is this part of this value? And it also works with percentages in the same way. We're gonna do it a little later. That's on our list, but let's get some more practice here. So, and this is another form in which this question can appear: 3/4 as much as 20. So this is the wording. What that means is basically, what is 3/4 of 20? So that's basically what they're asking here. All right, so just taking the same approach as before, x, what translates into x is translates into 0. 3/4 of is multiplication, 20. So again, we're gonna turn 20 into a fraction, and then go ahead and multiply. But I'm gonna split 20 into 4 times 5 because I have a factor of 4 on the bottom, and I can cancel it out. So those turn into ones, and I have 3 times 5 over 1, which is basically 15. So that's how you approach that problem. Now let's practice a word problem. It says, at the animal shelter, 4/6 of all animals are cats. How many cats are in the shelter if there is a total head count of 54? So basically, if we want to simplify the question, So the real question is, what is 4/6 of 54? So that's your basic question in this problem. So it's important when you're solving word problems, basically boil down to the simplest questions. Okay, so we have x equals 4/6 times 54. Okay, so again, rewriting 54 as a fraction, and as I multiply the numerators and the denominators, I'm also going to factor 54 into 6 and 9 because I have 6 on the bottom and I want to cancel it out. So what you have left is 4 times 9 over 1, and that gives you a 36. Okay, so the answer is there are 36 cats, and that's 4/6 out of 54. Now percentages. Percentages work just the same way. The only thing is you have to convert your percentage into a decimal form first. Okay, so 15% is basically 15, and I don't know if you knew that, but the percentage symbol, basically it's a fraction, 1 over 100. Okay, so you have 15 divided by 100 is 0.15. And this is a decimal representation of 15%. So this is a percent representation, this is decimal. So you have to do this every time you see percentage in the word problem. Whenever you put it in the formula, whenever you're calculating percentage, you have to convert your percentage into a decimal and then proceed as before. What is 15% of 60? That's it. That's what you have to do. And then doing it on the calculator, you would put in 0.15 times 60 is 9. So x is 9. 9, so the answer is 15% of 60 is 9. Okay, and finally, the type of word problem that you're gonna deal with in the trigonometry course is what is 5/3 of a full circle. It may be phrased in a different way, but that's what your questions are going to be boiled to. And so one thing that I want to remind you is that a full circle is 360 degrees, or I know you don't know that yet, but maybe. But we're also gonna use radians in this course. That's coming later. And 360 in radians is 2 pi. Just don't worry about it right now. You'll learn it soon. Okay, so the full circle is 360. So basically the question is, what is 5/3 of 360? So that's your basic question. And again, I want you to notice that 5/3 is more than 1. So that means that we're going to have a value that's bigger than 360, right, as the answer. So don't panic. So we have x equals 5/3 times 360. And again, doing it the same way we did before, I'm going to split 360 into 3 times 120 over 1, and then I'm gonna cancel out the 3's, and I'm gonna have 5 times 120. And that's gonna be degrees, and that's gonna be 600 degrees, which is, like we said, bigger than one full circle. All right, so that's how you figure out a portion of a number, or a value, or whole. That's the procedure.